It's 22 minutes before 9 here on the program. The MeerKat telescope, a precursor to the Square Kilometre Array, or SKA, continues to make new discoveries. It's amazing. I hope you remember some of the broadcasts that we've actually done from there, and it is just truly incredible what it does. So scientists say it's just a fraction of what is yet to come. The SKA and the African Very Long Baseline Interferometry Network, or AVN, as well as other initiatives, aim to develop astronomy in the 9 African SKA partner countries, which are Botswana, Ghana, Kenya, Madagascar, Mauritius, Mozambique, Namibia, ourselves, South Africa and Zambia. From Pretoria, we're joined by the Director of Multi-wavelength Astronomy at the Department of Science and Technology, Takalani, Nemaungani. It's good to have you on the program. Thanks so much for being our guest here.
Thank you very much for the opportunity to be here.
Takalani, can you break it down for us? How has the SKA been performing?
Thank you. In the last few days, that is what we've been assessing, because we had a meeting of the 9 African partner countries. This is the 6th time that we've been convening on an annual basis to measure progress in the various African countries, and I think the feedback is quite incredible. So what we are witnessing is that the discipline of astronomy is growing quite well in African countries, because if you think about it, a few years ago there was no astronomy offered in the universities in those countries as a discipline. So now, you know, there is a lot of happening because they have got new academic programs in this field. They are hiring lecturers, the students training, and also we're rolling out high performance and big data infrastructure at those universities, you know, to support the growth of the discipline in those countries. So I think on the African front, I think the progress is very good.
Yeah, and what I'm loving about this is that, you know, as a country, we keep searching for opportunities and we keep looking for where we can grow the economy and where we can find and fill job places, because that's really what we do need to do to develop. And this is something that is creating jobs, and that's quite exciting. Tell us a little bit more about this.
Sorry, I missed you there.
Takalani, in terms of job creation, it's an exciting future that we see what's happening here. It's an area that is actually creating jobs.
Yes, if you look at the South African Radio Astronomy Observatory, which is our local SKA project office, it is now employing almost 300 people. So I'm talking about full-time employees. But of course, at the various South African universities, there has been an employment of several people in their various astronomy programs in those universities as they grow. But of course, you know, in terms of the other opportunities, during the construction phase, over the last several years, I think we were able to create almost 8,000 job opportunities. But also you have to also look at the industry, because the industries that were involved in the construction and manufacturing of the various components of the MeerKat telescope, you know, also were able to retain, you know, people in those sectors. And you know, so yeah, so I think it's and I mean we're still going to phase 1, which will even be bigger than the MeerKat. So we hope to continue to create more opportunities in industry, but also at various universities. And then also there are quite a number of community projects also that we are involved in, especially in the towns surrounding the SKA project in the Northern Cape.
That's fantastic. It really is. I mean, I'm reading that close on 8,000 jobs were created. I mean, around the building, it's not necessarily the case now, but just surrounding this it's a fantastic number. Let's talk about the other African countries. There are 9 African countries that participated in this. How does this partnership actually work?
Yeah. So let me start by indicating that why we are working with those specific countries is because it was based on a scientific survey of where we can best place the telescopes to give us the kind of science that we want. So we have not discriminated against other African countries who are not involved, because that is a question I always get sometimes, why only these 9? It was purely from a scientific survey, because the telescope, as you know, will work as a network of antennas placed over almost a 3,000 kilometer baseline. So how the partnership works is that, you know, we have an intergovernmental forum of various governments in those countries, and then we also bring experts and astronomers on an annual basis, and then we have various task teams working on different working groups to help us with the implementation of the resolutions that we make in order to grow the field of astronomy in those countries.
Yeah. And I know that more satellites are going to be spread out throughout the Southern African region as well as Australia. What timelines are we working towards here on this whole finalization? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let me just also correct that. We like to refer this as radio telescopes and not necessarily satellites. Excellent. Although, thank you for correcting us.
Although some, in the African partner countries, especially in Ghana, we have actually converted an old satellite ground station, but we've converted it into a radio telescope. Although the concept is similar, but obviously we're interested in signals from space as opposed to a satellite, which is dealing with other kinds of signals. So as you have indicated, so South Africa and Australia are the co-hosts of the telescope, and all these antennas will work as one telescope, because they will all be connected by fiber, which will run undersea, between here and Australia and other countries involved, to make sure that even though the antennas are spread over many countries and also continents, but the telescope can still work as one telescope.
So I just want to, I suppose, wrap it up by saying, in the beginning of the interview, I mentioned that we've been part of this journey for quite some time as a program. We saw that very first picture of the center of the Milky Way that was published, and it was something that's never been seen before in that particular clarity. It was amazing. What's the next exciting thing we can look forward to?
Yeah, thank you very much, Liana. I think especially you, because yes, you visited our site quite a number of times, when we had events like this before. So thank you for your continued support from SABC to give us wide coverage. Since that famous picture of the clearest view of the center of the galaxies, there's been quite a number of other discoveries in recent times that we've been able to publish in Nature magazine, for instance. I think one of the latest is the discovery of the missing hydrogen gas in one of the galaxies. So this was kind of a mystery, because in that particular galaxies, something was not making quite sense until our telescope was actually able to fill the gap in terms of the knowledge that that missing piece the hydrogen gas, as expected, actually it does exist in that galaxy. So it's because our telescope is very sensitive. It can go deeper and also, gives us better information to enhance our understanding, of the universe.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for talking to us. Exciting journey we've been a part of, and we look forward to being with it a lot longer. Thanks very much, Takalani, for talking to us. Takalani Nemaungani, who is the Director of Multi-wavelength Astronomy at the Department of Science and Technology. Let's take a break. We'll have a few more.